The year is 1960. Swiss watch manufacturers like Omega and Rolex have already maintained dominance for quite some time when it comes to prestige and refinement. With Rolex's line of Oyster Perpetuals and Omega's various Seamasters, who dare compete with these Swiss powerhouses? Could someone else really set the standard for precision, durability, and beauty? What if the ideal watch came out of Japan? I mean, Seiko had been around for a while at this point. Was it time for something more grand? Well, the Seiko company out of Nagano, Japan was ready and willing to answer those questions when they developed the first ever Japanese chronometer grade watch. The caliber 3180 marks the birth of Grand Seiko. It's 1:23 p.m. Let's get down to business. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the time teller, here with the very first Grand Seiko, the first one ever made, reference number J14070. A lot of people just refer to it as the Cal 3180, referring to that awesomely accurate movement, 25 joule hand wind movement. As I said earlier, the first ever chronometer grade watch to come out of Japan. It's got a 45-hour power reserve on full wind. It's a 35mm case. All around, a very, very impressive watch, and a very important watch to have in my collection because, you know, being a Seiko collector for some time now, one of my main goals was to someday have a Grand Seiko. You know, getting a Grand Seiko was kind of an accomplishment, a bit of a statement to myself, being like, I finally did it. I attained Grand Seiko status. But I didn't just want any Grand Seiko, right? I knew I wanted the reference number J14070, but I didn't know if I'd ever find one. I mean, this being the first ever Grand Seiko, it wasn't all that common. And back like a year ago when Grand Seiko released the reissue models of this watch, yeah, these got scooped up like right away. Now you find these popping up on eBay once in a while. There's two up right now that are floating around the $2,000 mark, but they're destroyed. Now that's not to say mine's perfect. As you can see, the crystal has some slight scratches on it, and the dial has actually a really nice speckled patina that I'm quite fond of. And if you go to Grand Seiko's website under their history section, they have a watch that looks like exactly like this watch. It's like they took a picture of it and then sold it to me. So it seems like a lot of these age similarly, except for the ones you'll find on the auction websites. It's just really unfortunate because the two selling on eBay right now doesn't have the nice kind of speckling on it. Instead, it has like huge stains all over the dial. And then when you look at the back where the Grand Seiko medallion should be, they're either removed or fallen off, and it's just a huge bummer because this is kind of what you want to see on a Grand Seiko, right? You want to see that medallion. Now there is one of these being sold on a site outside of eBay. It took me a really long time to find it. It's in comparable condition to this, but it's selling for $10,000. So I'm very, very happy that I pounced on this one when I did. Boy, did I luck out. Now let's go ahead and throw on this little 35mm Grand Seiko on the wrist, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. We're gonna have to go ahead and take off the Rolex Submariner 16800. A very, very different watch than this Grand Seiko. I actually put this Grand Seiko on a brand new Hadley Roma crocodile leather strap, excuse me. Very, very comfortable strap, and I think it plays very, very well with this pretty dressy watch. Man, look at that. That is just gorgeous, seriously. Such a stunning watch from 1960. Beautiful, beautiful watch to own. Now, the dimensions are perfect in my opinion for a dress watch. 35mm case, very, very, very thin, so it fits right under the cuff perfectly. Looks amazing on my 7.5-inch wrist, although I'm sure you guys will disagree. Can't wait for the fits to happen in the comment section below. You need a bigger watch, time teller. Stop wearing small watches. And one of the reasons I absolutely love wearing this watch is because you kind of have to know what it is to know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's gonna look at this and know it's the first ever Grand Seiko, but we do. As you know, for something so simply designed, there's still a ton to look at. Very, very impressive watch, and it's just, I don't know, it's just such a stunning piece. And one last thing I wanted to bring up with you guys, so you know, Grand Seiko is such a stunning example as to why Seiko is my favorite watch company ever, because they're doing the exact opposite of things that the watch companies I hate are doing. You look at Tag Heuer, you look at Movado, companies that once had very cool watches and then have progressively gotten worse. I don't know what's going on with them, but it's a huge disappointment. Now we look at Seiko. Back in the 1950s, they wanted to be better. So what did they do? They developed Grand Seiko. And then we look at the Grand Seikos that have come out nowadays. I mean, they're on the cutting edge of technology, developing things like the spring drive movement, just Beautiful, beautiful pieces, such a high attention to detail, just amazing things to come out of Japan. And I don't know, I'm very proud, if you couldn't tell, to own the first one ever. Very cool. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about one of my favorite pieces in my collection, the Grand Seiko J14070, or the Cal 3180, whatever you'd like to say. First ever Grand Seiko. Please leave me a comment. Let me know, what's your favorite Grand Seiko? And if this is your first time joining us here at the Time Teller channel, I want to say welcome and thank you. And I want to urge you to consider clicking that subscribe button. It takes 1 second. It helps me out a ton. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and click that little bell icon so you do not miss an episode of the Time Teller. There's just so much more awesome content on the way, and you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with other watch enthusiasts, other people that you think would enjoy this. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.